Hi, I'm Amy Shannon, and this is another episode of Exposed, Mobility Impaired Denied. And I've talked before about how, the winter's coming, so there's not a lot of things going on as far as me going out and about. I actually kind of like that montage I did of the me versus cars. I didn't really appreciate it when I was in there, but putting it together just kind of it was a little bit of fun. And I don't have a lot of I am well, let's see. According to my children, I am not funny. And I think I am, so it doesn't matter. I'm not as silly. I can't be as silly as I used to be, but I try. So not only am I Amy Shannon, and my mission is to make sure that every person has a right and an easy way to enter a public building, whether you are mobility impaired or not, whether you're disabled in any way or not. There are other ways that can prevent you from going into a building. Using your hands, say your hands don't work. Mine don't always work. Even if my feet work, sometimes my hands don't work or they hurt when they work. So, but this is something I'm I wanted to really in this video discuss um, what a person actually needs for assistance. Now, a lot of times we, you know, if we look at our life, and I'm going to say just my life from my experience. Um, when I started, before I was even in my wheelchair, I started getting these really bad tremors, and I still have them. And then I get awake seizures where I will be awake and know what's going on, but have total and no control over my body until it calms down. And that's just a small little part. So, because of my tremors, um, I I like coffee. I had to stop using my ceramic coffee mugs, even my favorite Star Trek one, and I switched to metal. Got two of these as on Amazon. So, and it has a lid, and then you can close it. So it'll keep your hot drinks hot for quite a while, and it'll keep your cold drinks because I have a set of four, and two I use for coffee, and two I use for wine because I can't use a regular wine glass. I do, however, collect those. They're like the tumblers wine glasses, or they're metal and they're like for they call them like camp out or whatever. But um I started collecting them. I started using them, and then I realized that they were just so nice. And I used to collect wine glasses, and now I can't do that. I used to collect teacups, and I don't really do that anymore because what's the point if I break it? So I had to switch. I switched to plastic plates instead of glass, plastic bowls. I use Japanese soup spoons, and they're actually really good. I mean, you get more soup, and I see why they use them. More people should probably use them rather than a teaspoon, or even what they call in the around here a soup spoon. The little because they hold a lot, and when I shake, not a lot comes off, so I can eat. I had a bib, hated it. Um, so now I just tuck in a towel or a washcloth. So because I do spittle, I have to be very careful. Um, with anything that is glass or I could drop and break. So basically all of my cups are either they're like travel cups, like this one. Um, this was a wonderful gift from my son William. I have one for water and one for juice. Um, let's see. Uh, railings, and make sure they're good to have. If you use the suction ones in the bathroom, they make sure that when you have them and then give it a good yank and make sure it doesn't come off, because sometimes you think they're tight and they're not tight, or somebody could have bumped them if you share a shower. Well, if you have a shower, someone else uses your shower or you share it, make sure you have that. Have a good sturdy shower chair. One, um, I would prefer, I would recommend one with a back. I have used shower chairs that had metal legs with a little rubber footing, and they always wore out. They got rusty at the bottom for being in the bathtub all the time. And then last year, one of my care managers tracked down this magnificent chair. It's all plastic. It's sturdy. That was my slide. I don't do a lot of editing. I usually just enhance the video, audio of the video. So, as I was saying, it's a magnificent chair. I have no idea where she got it. I know there are places that will collect donations and then use those donations to help other people who may need them. Um, when needed I was tired of stocking up on mobility aids that I no longer used. I found a foundation here near me in Wilton that took the walker, the 4-footed cane, and my manual wheelchair. So that's excuse, that's my kitty. So they happily accept those. My son and his friend brought them there for me. And they said that they were so grateful for that. And I didn't want to just I thought about getting rid of them but if you have aids that you no longer use, donate them. If you have old glasses that you don't wear, but you have a drawer full, donate them to the Lions Club because they still use those to help people that can't afford glasses or new glasses and have the same kind of prescription, whether it's reading or it's a prescription glasses. Maybe they can just use your frames or whatever in good condition. Things that you don't use, uh, but maybe someone else can. I don't know if it still happens, but I do know that in years have passed that local facilities for domestic violence would accept cell phones, and sometimes they would just have them as unlocked so they could like dial an emergency number. Um, Other times they would gather the cell phones and donate them to a place that recycles them, and then they get the money towards their cause. So if I could support a cause, even if it's just a little bit, and it's something that I believe in, I do that. Like I'll buy my cat litter because the company that I buy the cat litter from donates a lot of their proceeds to rescue animals. And my cats don't seem to mind it. So, it's things like that. Also, I am a big fan and a shout out to Adventures with Purpose. Um, and one of the things that as I have the money, I bought what they have, the 2-in-1 window breakers. If you are in an accident, you can break your window and also use it to cut your seatbelt. They have a YouTube channel, and what they do to me is more important than what you may hear from certain people's past. I think that sometimes we do things stupid and we can't take back, but we can move forward. Um, so I shout out to Adventures with Purpose. I am one of your members and a big fan, and I keep buying those window breakers. I first bought them for my two sons because they were our drivers. And one day I was driving as I was in a passenger seat, and we were going on a little road trip. And I realized that if we had had an accident, the driver would have a window breaker, but none of the passengers would have had one. And kind of when you panic, it's kind of like every man for themselves. So not necessarily that would happen, but that made me think about what I should do for my daughter-in-law and for my other son, and then eventually me. So I got one for my son. I have one on order for my daughter-in-law, and when I can, I'm going to get one for myself. Um, eh, you know, it's not just for if your car happens to be going underwater. You could be in an accident and you can't get out, or you may need to help someone else. That maybe there's a pet or a baby in a hot car and you need to break a window, or you need to help somebody else who's been in an accident. So I recommend those. And no, I just watch them and I'm a member. That's just what I do. They've got me hooked on all of these sonar dive team videos and different teams and things like that. And sometimes it leads you to other channels and you start to watch them. And so that's what I do. Um, and when I watched this one and it kind of inspired me. I'm also a fan of Heavy D Sparks. Um, and because they do a lot of crazy different things and they do, retrievals, start videos, like these big, huge machines that have been stuck someplace for years, or they'll take something that looks like a piece of junk and they turn it into this monstrous, beautiful truck or monster, whatever. But then it got me thinking, I was watching one of their videos and I thought, you know, I hate my wheelchair. I really do. The one that I have, I bought it because it was on sale and I needed one. So what for one, it's not well distributed with weight. And I think I've mentioned in the past that if I go up even a small incline, I have to lean forward to distribute the weight better. It does have manual brakes, but my hands don't work that well. So even if I shut off the joystick, it's still powered on. There is a thing in the back that will shut off the power. So like if somebody wanted to wheel you, you could be wheeled manually. You couldn't do it yourself, but you could be wheeled manually or maneuver the chair. I use my chair sitting at my desk right now. But if I don't put it on manual, and even if it's off, if I'm on a little incline, it might start to roll. There are times when I haven't even touched my joysticks, and all of a sudden my wheelchair will just automatically turn in one direction, and I'm not touching it. And other times I've taken off, I've let go, I slow down, and I've still crashed into something. When when I have my feet on the foot holder, I have the option up or down. If I back up and my foot is in the wrong position because my front wheels rotate when they back up, my foot will actually get caught. Now, I don't always feel it because I can only feel part of my feet. And then I wonder why I have bruises all over my feet. So I was thinking, oh, I wish I could just build my own wheelchair. I used the one I have just as a baseline. So, and I was thinking, are there people that do customized, um, people do customized cars, vans, trucks? Um, I've seen some pretty cool mobility scooters on different things. I saw one that looked like a tank. Thought, okay, that's really cool, but not something I should be driving down the road or going into the store with. But it was cool. Um, I had heard of, my son had mentioned one company that did customize, and they only do one project at a time. And of course, anyone who would do custom work like that, it's going to come with a pretty penny. So I don't even know if there are people out there that say, oh, yeah, we do custom. And the reason why I say custom is because there are times when I'm like, oh, my chair and this if I did that, or this would be easier for me if something I had did something else. So that got me to thinking, if I use my wheelchair, it's very difficult to go over rocky or grassed terrain. And rocky, I mean pavement with stones on it. Grass, not so great. Cement, it wants to slide, especially if you're going downhill, whether it is raining, sidewalks wet or not. So I wanted to bring something up. So I'm going to share this design. And so I'm not the best artist in the world. So what I was thinking of is this is kind of an outline of my chair. So, um, well, I want to put a reflective flag on here. This is a joystick, but I would want it on both arms. Now, currently, my joystick is actually attached, but it's on the side and it has a knob like in this area. And a lot of times when I'm going around a corner, it's that knob that will get caught on the corner because I don't always have great perception. Where they say things maybe closer than they appear. It's true, especially with my eyes. And I was thinking a joystick on both sides. And the reason I say that because sometimes if you have to pull the door, and you're right-handed and you have to pull it with your right hand, you can't maneuver your joystick if you are on it's on your right side. You would need to be able to do it on the left side. The tires, I kind of got like the idea from like tank tires or tractor tires where they have three wheels and they have like a track around them. And it could even be, say, removable and you could easily put on and off. So like if you wanted to be in your house, you don't need tractor tires, but if you're outside and you want to go in the woods or cross the grass, then you wouldn't slide if you wanted to go on your way. Now, the battery in mine is about this stops about at this point. So I would want the battery to completely be under the chair and it would handle weight distribution better. The the arms of the chair aren't solid. I would think they would be cool if they were solid, and have like pockets. I have this flimsy little thing that I attach to its cloth. It has pockets, but it really doesn't do much for me. A bag, at the back. Um, and I would want a retractable grabber, and like this could be where it would hold it. An area for lumbar support, because right now I actually have like a kitchen chair um, pillow for the back of my chair, um, a seat that maybe or the chair could rise or the seat, because if I have to sit down and I'm cooking dinner, I'm lower than the stove. Obviously, I'm lower than the stove, and I can't always see in the pan and things like that. So this is just kind of like then options. I thought about, well, uh, I had a tray that attached to a manual wheelchair, but I never found a tray that could fit on a electric wheelchair. Um, and I want something that's not gonna tip over, not gonna get tires are not gonna get caught in a track. I would like a retractable footrest and maybe like one of those grocery carts that would attach to the footrest. And so if I wanted to go to the grocery store, I could attach that to the front and it would go, and I could go forward or back and I wouldn't have to worry about it not maneuvering properly. And of course, I would like it to be red. But this is just, you know, it's something that I thought of because I got ideas. And to be honest, I don't know anybody that customizes chairs or does customizations and would even think about doing it. I'm not asking, I do not want, if I had a chair customized, I would not want them to use, just custom make pimp this one out or whatever they call it. I would want a totally different or a totally new chair. But that's something that, for one, if anybody ever does it, I don't know anybody who does do it. And if even if they did, it would just be cost so much more money. But there are things that we try to do to make our life easier. And sometimes, we just happen to come up with something that says, oh, I wish this could do that. And then it doesn't. So we figure out a way to do something that, we just don't know how to do any other way. Um, you know, we figure out what will work and what won't. I've had a lot of things do through trial and error. Um, and it's not always easy. Um, I must say, when I got my rollator walker and it had a seat, I was like, yes, it has a seat. And I was thinking, why was I so excited about a seat? But I know you get tired, sit down, you get too tired, and you know, and you just need to rest, or it opened up and it had a little place where you could put your purse or whatever you carry. I use a fanny pack, and I also have a good bag, which has a lot of stuff in it that I would need if I was going out, not to the store, but like going, I mean, myself. If someone drives me someplace to the doctor or to the store, I bring my go bag. It has my play card in it for the disability parking, but it also has other things in there that I may need. Uh, Yeah. And I always bring something to drink because I have to drink a lot of fluids. That's why you always see me drinking in my videos. So, excuse me. With all of that said, if you have someone you love and they have to use some type of aid, maybe you could just say, Mom, Dad, how easy is that? I mean, how does that work? How do you use that? Is there anything about it that would make it easier? Sometimes someone may be using a cane that only has the one foot, And maybe they need more stability and need a 4-footed cane. Now, they make cheap 4-footed canes. I had one for a little while. And then when I had bought it, I discovered that the 4 feet didn't lie flush. I had to play around with the rubbers on the bottom of them to get it so it was flush, but yet it still wasn't. The best 4-footed cane I had it was kind of heavy. So you would have to make sure that you would be able to utilize the weight. After a while, my hands were bad and I couldn't do it anymore. And that's why I got switched to a walker. But you may have something, or somebody that is using some kind of aid, but maybe that aid isn't doing everything that it should do, or they need it. And sometimes you don't even realize it, and they may not say anything. They might say, "Oh, I hate this walker. I hate this. It doesn't do this. Oh, if I had this, you know, maybe they need a extra long wrapper. I have a really good one. Sometimes I use tongs, really long metal tongs. That works sometimes. Um, and also it's good for things that, fall behind furniture and you need to get retrieved. So it's not just for short people or those who have hard time uh, reaching for things, and because we're in a chair or whatever. So you might want to say, "Hey, mom, are you struggling with that walker, or is that do you get too tired? Maybe you need a wheelchair." And there are a lot of different kinds of wheelchairs. They have manual wheelchairs. Those are the kind that they're not electric. They have the big wheels. They do make them. They're so a lot of them can be bulky, but others they can make some lightweight. And if you can use your hands and you have the strength, or will keep your strength, use a manual. My hands didn't work very well, so my wheelchair that I donated was practically brand new. After trying to use it, I was like, I can't do this. I had people wheel me around. And speaking of being wheeled around, they have some wheelchairs that are just transport. And that just means it's a manual wheelchair, but the only way you can get it going is if someone is wheeling you. So maybe around your house you can use your cane. But if you have to go out to a car and you have like a personal care aid or a home health aid, or you need to go to do something and someone can wheel you just to the car, then that might be something that you could use. If you have, an aid, not all of us have a aid that is a person. Maybe sometimes we do need that person and we don't know. There are also, if you are aware of it and you are taking care of a person who needs your help, there are places that will pay you to take care of your loved ones. It is not covered by all insurances, but I do know that it exists. So you could contact your insurance company and see, because sometimes it's just they advertise it a lot well, I see it on television, or if I'm watching whatever streaming things about it. But when I had other insurance, it was something I was looking into to see, because my son would help me out a lot and I thought he should get paid for it. Uh, but anyways, so that might be something you are interested in. And I know that, I have a direction that I want um, people to move in forward and to be successful and independent as much as possible, even if you are just someone who can only use one finger to communicate, to tell people what you want, to press a button so your computer can talk for you. You need something to be your voice, your feet, your hands, sometimes your mind. Look at maybe the people around you need to say, "Hey, wait a minute. Are you sure that's the best aid for you? You maybe you need something different. Maybe they have an aid that has it's like they don't really need it. They need something like a downgrade to something. Um, maybe they think they need to have a cane. So they have it, but they're not even using it. So why do they have it to begin with? Uh, just in case. A cane is not going to stop you from falling. Believe me, I know. So, you know, these are things to think about. And as I continue with my series, I am still going to continue to press on to change some of our legislative laws when it has to do with people being able to access mobility or access public places, but also be able to walk on their sidewalks without falling down. There's a lot out there, and it's not, just opening doors. It's walking on sidewalks or driving on sidewalks or ramps that are just not kept up. So there's a lot of stuff out there. And you may have seen earlier videos about me showing that kind of stuff. And that's just in my little tiny little world where I am right now. But, share this, talk to people, that use mobility aids. Um, say, watch how they maneuver around a structure facility that is meant for people with two good legs and see what I mean. Anyways, this has been Amy Shannon for Exposed Mobility Impaired Denied. And I hope you all have a great new year. And I will see you again very soon. So stay safe and be well. Click subscribe.